What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and in today's video I'll be predicting the entire 2022 FIFA World Cup. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So guys, if you go to foxsports.com, you're gonna see $1 million World Cup bracket challenge, and it says you're one step closer to your shot at $1 million. So I have to sign up, put my email, a password, and I'll predict the group stage, which I've already done, and then I'll go on to the round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, the final, and third place winner. And I'm gonna do this, so who knows, maybe I might actually win something. So let's do it. Let's go. All right, guys, let's predict each and every group. So I did an analysis of each group, so you're gonna have to go and check the video if you want a more in-depth analysis. But in this video, we're going to predict the whole World Cup. So I don't want to be too long-winded with each and every group. But when we get to the round of 16, the quarters and semis, etc., is when we're going to have a bit of fun. So in Group A, I'm actually going to go for the Netherlands to top the group and Senegal to come in second, Ecuador and the host Qatar eliminated. Look, when you look at the Netherlands under Van Gaal, his last hurrah, what he's done for the Netherlands before, what they've done at the last two World Cups. They actually came in second and third the last time they were at the event, and they're one of the most unlucky teams, along with Hungary, not to win a World Cup by making quite a few finals. So with the quality of the likes of Van Dijk and De Ligt and De Jong and Depay and co, I think the Dutch, will do well in the group and top it. Senegal come in second. Even with Sadio Mane injured, I still think Senegal will do well. They have a lot of quality in their team. Good goalkeeper Mendy, Koulibaly at the back, Abdou Diallo and co. So I do think they will dazzle this time around. I think they should get the better of Ecuador and Qatar, give Netherlands a fight, and get through to the second phase of this tournament. And they will hope that Sadio Mane could strap it up, take a few painkillers, and run out there. Look, Ecuador and Qatar to miss out. We're going to keep it moving. So, look, Group B, surprise winner. I'm going to go for Wales and England to come in second, Iran and the USA to miss out. The thing with Wales, right? Look, at the World Cup, we always have that dark horse team that makes a run deep into the tournament. Wales could be that team with Gareth Bale and the likes of Ethan Ampadu and Brennan Johnson and guys like Dan James and Kiefer Moore. These guys could actually cause a lot of trouble in this group, especially against the USA and against Iran. And remember, they beat England at Euro 16. So look, Wales have a lot of capabilities, and with the magic of Gareth Bale, could step up and do anything anytime. Don't write off this team. England, I think they are the worst enemies. You know what I'm saying? And they're the ones that are going to get in their own way, in my opinion. Southgate has to get it right. Selection is going to be an issue. He probably knows the 11 he want to put out, but look, it might not work out the way he plans. So it's a tricky group to navigate, but I think they'll have enough quality to get through to the second phase. Iran, USA miss out, and I explained that more in the individual group videos. Let's move on to Group C, where I'm going to go for Argentina, one of the World Cup favorites, to top the group, Messi and co. And with Lionel Scaloni at the helm, they've done well. They won the last Copa America against Brazil, went through qualifiers unbeaten, and they're looking like the real deal. I'm talking about 2014 type Argentina, or better. I'm talking about 1978, 1986, inspired by Maradona type Argentina. So it will be the first World Cup since the death of Diego Maradona as well. So long live one of the GOATs. So I'm going to go for Argentina with their stacked up squad to actually top the group. Coming in second, I'm going to go for Mexico. They always do well at the World Cup. Last 7 World Cups, they've gone on to the round of 16, and I don't think this time around it will be different. And they seem to play at the level of their opponent, meaning when they meet a really good team, they're going to come up there and play well. Tata Martino is a bit suspect at the helm. They're dealing with a few injury problems as well. Where's the goals going to come from? Maybe guys like Henry Martin. Guys like other Lainez, Chucky Lozano, these guys have to step up. Maybe the big defenders got to step up and help out. Guardado, Edson Alvarez, Hector Herrera, a lot of quality in the squad, and I think Mexico will get through to the round of 16. Group D, select a winner. I'm actually going to go for Denmark to win this group. Last time around, Denmark, Australia, France, along with Costa Rica was in the same group. France ended up topping the group, Denmark coming in second. And this time around, I think Denmark are going to top the group ahead of France, right? At the World Cup, they somehow had a miracle run because they came in third in their group with, I think it was only 1 win and 2 losses, if I could recall, and the whole Christian Eriksen situation. And then they rose from that to make a run all the way to the semifinals, and they could have actually made it to the final. So it was like a rebirth of that 1992 Danish team that went on to win the Euros after they were called up from vacation. Guys like Brian and Michael Laudrup comes to mind. So big up to Kasper Hjulmand and this Danish team, star-studded. I'm going to go for them to top the group there. France, I'm going to go for them to come in second and avoid the champions curse. Maybe it's a really bad prediction I'm making here. With the likes of Pogba and Kante absent, that's probably signs that France are going to fall to the victim to the champions curse. But I think they have enough quality to get through to the round of 16, at least, right? You have the likes of Chouameni, Camavinga, Griezmann. You have Benzema. You see what I'm saying? Kylian Mbappe. You see? So are they going to fail with these guys? It's a possibility, but I do think they have way too much quality not to get the better of Australia and Tunisia at least. Even if they trip up against Denmark, at least they should do well against the others in the group. So Australia and Tunisia to miss out. The Tunisia-France game is going to be interesting, and it could actually be the narrative to set up France's failure as well. So look, and we know Tunisia with the French history. So we move on to Group E. Group winner, I'm actually going to go for the Germans to top the group, bounce back from actually coming in last in their group back in 2018. What a failure of a World Cup, man. They were grouped with Sweden, Mexico, South Korea, and they flopped as champions under Joachim Löw. But he's no longer at the helm. It's now Hansi Flick. He's going to look to turn their fortunes around and, be inspired by their past World Cup victories. 2014, 1990 comes to mind. And the Germans, man, they're coming back with some force. I like the squad, a young squad, experimental as well. But I think they'll do well enough to get out of their group. Next rounds, we'll talk about that. But the group, yeah, they'll get through. And I'm going to go for a surprise pick and pick Japan to get out their group again like they did in 2018. And for Spain to miss out, and Costa Rica. But Spain, remember guys, 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4 big teams will miss out. Let's not forget that. It's not going to be easily predicted where, okay, we predicted the strongest team to get through. This is a tournament setting. Some strange things are going to happen. And I'm going to go for strange things, Spain, to actually not move on to the round of 16. Maybe they will. They have a nice young squad and everything. Barcelona heavy. But, I just have my doubts. Let's just put it that way. But Japan under Hajime Moriyasu is back. They are back. Very talented team. Look out for Junya Ito with his pace. Takefusa Kubo. You have the likes of Minamino as well. And you have hordes of talent, man. You know what I mean? I don't need to go through the whole Japanese team. They would be inspired by the likes of, their past greats. Kisuke Honda and Hiroteshi Nakata. This was one of my favorite Japanese players. I hope I said his name right, but I'm going to go for Germany and Japan to move on. Group F, top in the group. I'm going to go for Belgium under Roberto Martinez. I think the team makes him look good. I don't think he's that of a good coach, but he was there back in 2018. They had a really, really good run, and they got to the semis, knocked out by the winners, France. I think Belgium, a team that I actually supported for the 2018 World Cup, I think they could do well. they might be one of the favorites as well. The last chance, I think, for their golden generation to actually do something big in a group where there's Canada, Morocco, Croatia. They could actually do something as well. But I'm going to go for Belgium, Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, and Kevin De Bruyne are going to lead this team. Dries Mertens, Yannick Carrasco. They're almost bringing back the same bunch of guys from the last time. If you look at the team, it's just one of few faces that's changed. See? So, look, I'm pretty sure if you look at the team that played against France, just one or two guys are not coming back. So, continuity is good, but maybe they got a lot of miles in their legs, and that could be their Achilles heel, but I do think they'll top the group. Coming in second, guys, no surprises here. I'm going to go for Croatia, back under Zlatko Dalic, led by the likes of Luka Modric, who's been around for God knows when. Luka Modric was at the 2006 World Cup, which is nuts. I was actually doing some research today, and I was like, whoa, Luka Modric was at the 2006 World Cup. I was like, wow, this is crazy. He's been around forever. Luka Modric is a dinosaur, man. You know what I mean? So give it up to Modric. He'll be leading this team along with guys like Mislav Orsic, very, very, very talented player. And I think he's going to be a player to watch at the World Cup as well. And the likes of Bruno Petkovic. Bruno Petkovic could actually be, one of the standout players for Croatia if he does have his opportunities. One Croatian fan told me to look out for Marko Livaja. I do know Marko Livaja, but I'm not, too sold on Livaja, but maybe he could do something. But a lot of new young faces in the squad, Borna Sosa, the likes of Lovro Maja, I think, made the squad, if I'm not mistaken. And Croatia could do something. Perisic, one of my favorite players as well. Kramaric, Brozovic. Oh, man. Kovacic, the team's still stacked up. So I'm going to go for them to come in second in the group. Guys, do you think that's a solid prediction or not? I do think that's a solid prediction. Belgium and Croatia? Yeah, why not? So, look, we're going to keep it moving on my $1 million prediction, my bracket prediction. Hope I win. And I wish you all the best as well, but I hope I'm the one that wins it. You know what I mean? I need that. I need that type of money in my life. But Morocco and Canada to miss out. More analysis, as I mentioned, in the prediction videos that I made. Go check out the playlist. Group G, select the winner. Brazil. Brazil definitely going to win that group. They have a good record against all the teams in the group. And it's a similar group to that of the 2018 World Cup where Serbia, Switzerland, and Brazil were in the same group. I think I did I screw up when I said Costa Rica was in that group up there? I think Costa Rica was in the Brazil group, if I'm not mistaken. So I might have messed up with that one in terms of the 2018, So it kind of bothers me, I'm saying right now. 2018 World Cup group that Brazil was actually in. I'll let you guys know. Okay, so it was Peru and not Costa Rica in the France, Denmark, and Australia group, and Costa Rica was in the Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland group. So I do apologize for that, and I know someone probably corrected me in the comments, but I'm going to go for Brazil, the Seleção to top the group under Tite, Neymar, likes of Richarlison, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Anthony, stacked up top, midfield stacked up as well, and likes of Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes, Fabinho, and co. It's just stacked up. Defense, Thiago Silva, Dani Alves. These guys been around forever. And those guys were at the 2010 World Cup the last time I checked. Allison and Edison. So, wealth of talent. So, I'm going to go for Brazil to top the group. Coming in second, guys, Switzerland. So, two same teams to go through, in my opinion. And Switzerland, another team you want to play with. Murat Yakin is currently in charge of the team, and they just have hordes of talent, man. Solid in defense. Akanji, Fabian Shaw, Jan Sommer in goal. If he's not available, Kobel, the Borussia Dortmund keeper as well. There's a lot of talent, man, all over the field, all over the field. I don't need to name drop no more. All over the field. So I'm gonna put some faith in Switzerland with Granit Xhaka, Jordan Shaqiri. I'm still calling names, man. Ruben Vargas, Noah Okafor. Oh, nasty. And I know most people predicted Serbia to get through ahead of Switzerland because they say the Serbian team is stacked up, you know. But look, man, they're on the Dragan Stojkovic right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have my doubts on Serbia. Seriously, I really got my doubts on Serbia. Even though they got some good players, Mitrovic, Vlahovic, Jovic up top leading the charge, Tadic in the middle, talismanic player. Yeah, I have my reservations, man, of Serbia. You guys will be like, Dom, you are right. Rigobert Song in charge of Cameroon, inspired by the likes of Roger Milla from 1990 World Cup, man. So I don't think Cameroon would do too well in the group. They do have a lot of talent, but still, the quality of Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia would actually be too much for Choupo-Moting and Zambo Anguissa and Carl Toko Ikambi and co. Onana and goal. Quality team, though. This group is tough. It's one of the group of death, in my opinion. And last but not least, Ghana, Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay. This is another tough group. And I'm going to go for Uruguay to top this group. I just think they are a far superior team under Diego Alonso, new manager after taking over from Oscar Tabarez. And I just have a good feeling about this team. You know, up top, you have the likes of with Suarez, Luis Suarez, Edinson Cavani, their experience and quality. If you don't want to use them from the start, you have Darwin Nunez, you have Fede Valverde, and the list goes on, man. This team is stacked up. The back, Jose Maria Jimenez, along with Diego Godin. These guys are still, you know, a part of the team. Sebastian Coates and Martin Cáceres are back. Like, goddamn, these guys are still playing. Fernando Muslera, these guys are still playing. You know, so expect Uruguay to do very, very well in Group H and top the group. And I think it will be between them and Portugal. I'm going for Portugal to come in second. This group, I think, is susceptible for a big casualty. Whether it's going to be Portugal or Uruguay, but I'm not going to go for any of those teams to actually get knocked out in the first round. And I'm going to say both of them go through. Portugal, another very stacked up team under Fernando Santos. And the only reason why they won't go through to the round of 16 and beyond is because of their manager, who I think is rather tactically inept at times and doesn't know his best 11. Maybe he has too many quality players to choose from. And when you have too many choices to make, sometimes you do not make the right choice. But look, led by Cristiano Ronaldo, potentially his last World Cup as well, Bernardo Silva, likes of Bruno Fernandes, Joao Mario made the cut. Defense is stacked up, led by Pepe, Antonio Silva, Ruben Diaz, Danilo Pereira, you know, and the list goes on, man. The goalkeeping department, they're rich in with talent. Jose Sa, Diego Costa, Rui Patricio, and I don't need to call any more names. Big up to my boy João Cancelo at the World Cup as well. All the best to all my Man City players in the team. I'm going for Portugal to come in second. Ghana and South Korea to miss out. Look, anything could happen in the group. Ghana versus Uruguay would be a very, very good storyline to follow. And, you know, South Korea could be that team that throw a wrench in Uruguay and Portugal's plans, because look at what they did back in 2018 against Germany. So they're capable of doing big things. And there's history as well between all the teams in the group. But I'm going to go for Portugal and Uruguay to move on. So, guys, we go into the knockout phase, man. And the brackets are there for you to see. And we are going to pick the round of 16 winners, and then we move into the quarterfinals. Let's start with that side of the bracket where we have Netherlands coming up against England. These teams actually met once at the World Cup before in a 0-0 draw back in 1990 and have met, of course, in friendlies and other tournaments. But we're going to keep it World Cup relevant, and we're not going to go too much into all the head-to-head. But importantly, the meetings at the World Cup. This one is a huge one, man. Netherlands versus England. It's a very, very, very tough one as well. And I'm actually going to go for England to get the better of Netherlands here and move on to the quarters. So the winner, of course, guys, you see, would meet Argentina or France. The round of 16 matchup back in 2018. So, wow, I didn't plan this. I didn't plan this though. I swear, guys, I did not plan it. I just went. I picked my group winners, my runners up, and this is what happened. Whoa, I didn't look at the brackets. So I'm gonna go for England to move on ahead of the Netherlands. Two very stacked up team as well, but I just think on the day, if they do meet, England would definitely get the better of the Dutch. So look, we're gonna move into the next one, Argentina versus France. A narrative looms where Argentina did lead against France back in 2018, but France came back to beat them heavily, man, in a 4-3 win back in 2018, and France went on to win the World Cup. They had to get past an Argentina. They bet at the 1930 World Cup where Argentina won that game. 1978, Argentina won as well. France finally got their revenge in 2018 at the World Cup. So for this time around, guys, I think, predicting France to get out of their group was a big call, being the champions and saying they're not going to fall to the champions curse. But when they meet Argentina this time around, I think this would be the end of their tournament as holders. Bye-bye Deschamps, bye-bye Griezmann, Benzema, and Mbappe. And it will be a good showdown, though. Mbappe versus Messi. Oh, my God. Two of the best players in the world coming up against each other. But I'm going to have to say Argentina, which set up a quarterfinal between England and Argentina. So let's move on. It will be Germany versus Croatia here. This one is a massive one as well. And guys, interestingly, right? Back in the 1998 World Cup, Croatia defeated Germany 3-0. And they also met at the 2008 Euros, where Croatia won the game 2-1. So when they've met in tournament settings, Croatia have always prevailed. I'm not talking about friendlies. I'm not talking about qualifiers or anything like that. But at the big tournament, when it matters the most, Croatia have risen to the occasion. And with this German team, I think they could misfire. Have a lot of young players. They're experimental. They don't have like a main Miroslav Klose or Mario Gomez type striker up top. And it could be a problem. It could definitely be a problem. But Croatia, am I going to go for them to make another magical run, at least to the quarterfinals? Guys, I am going to go for Croatia to get the better of Germany here. And that's where the World Cup comes to an end. That will be another underwhelming World Cup for Germany if they do get knocked out in the round of 16. But Croatia on to the quarters to meet one of Brazil or Portugal. That is a massive game. Brazil versus Portugal. They met back in the 1968 World Cup where Portugal won the game 3-1 with Eusebio scoring a brace. Long live the great Eusebio, by the way. And they also met in the 2010 World Cup where they were in the same group. That match ended in a 0-0 draw. Interestingly, Cristiano Ronaldo and Pepe took part in that game, while for Brazil, I think Dani Alves and Thiago Silva was in that squad. So that'll be a very, very good matchup there once again. And guys, that is where Portugal's World Cup would come to an end, in my opinion, if they meet Brazil in the round of 16. And it's very, very possible. In order to avoid Brazil, Portugal, and go on the other side of the bracket, Portugal would actually have to top their group ahead of Uruguay if they want to avoid the likes of Brazil and Argentina, who I think would actually top their groups. So look at that. Look at this side of the bracket, guys. I'm going to go for Brazil. It stacked up Brazil, Portugal. Brazil speaks Portuguese, meaning Portugal actually, Brazil was a Portuguese colony to make things a little bit more simpler. And if you scroll up here, Argentina, France, so like maybe not France, but I'm just saying teams that I think would top their group, right? Argentina, Brazil, and if Portugal are to avoid these guys, yeah, they're gonna have to top their group as well and go on the other side of the bracket, right? So look, I'm gonna go for Brazil to meet Croatia in the quarters. England versus Argentina. Let's go over to the other side of the bracket here, where we have Wales coming up against Senegal. Well, look, Wales versus Senegal. This would actually be the first meeting if this is actually going to happen. And I'm going to go for Wales to actually win this game. This will be a great opportunity for Senegal to make another quarterfinal run if they do meet a team like Wales in the next round. But I'm going to go for Robert Page and Gareth Bale's Wales to make somewhat of a fairy tale run to the quarters where they would meet Denmark or Mexico, according to my predictions. So, look, it's even. Senegal, Wales is very, very even. It could go any which way, but I just fancy the Welsh team to just hold their nerve and, get to the quarterfinals. We move on to the next game, Denmark versus Mexico. Well, they actually never met at the World Cup, but they met on 7 occasions where Denmark do have 4 wins, Mexico do have 2, and one game ended in a draw. They actually met at the 1995 Confederations Cup. So Denmark and Mexico will meet at the World Cup for the very first time. Guys, come on, man. El Quinto Partido. Mexico are not getting past the round of 16. They're cursed. They cannot get past the round. Well, they actually got to the quarters back in 1986 when they hosted the tournament, from what I could recall. But get into the round of 16 is what they've been doing, is what they've known to do, is what they're best at. One of their strengths. But getting past that, oh man, Mexico would play world-class football, even top their group on a few occasions. Get into the round of 16, shadow of that group stage team. So Denmark, with their quality, I'm going to go for them to meet Wales in the quarterfinals, which means one of Wales or Denmark could get to the semis. Pretty cool. So we're going to move down to Belgium versus Japan again. Guys, we had this back in 2018, right? So they did meet at the 2002 World Cup. That game ended in a draw. Japan and South Korea hosted that World Cup, and they met in the 2018 event where Japan went ahead against Belgium. Belgium came back to beat Japan 3-2 in the round of 16. That was a roller coaster game. And this time around, I am going to go for Belgium to pip Japan once again and move into yet another World Cup quarterfinals where they would meet one of Switzerland or Uruguay. So, look, I'm not saying Japan can't give Belgium a fight, but come on, guys. You know what I mean? Belgium would love if they meet Japan in the next round rather than meet Spain or, let's say, Germany. But Belgium should top their group, right? So they'll meet whoever comes in second. They would want to avoid definitely avoid Spain or Germany. You see what I mean? So, look, Uruguay versus Switzerland. This will be the first World Cup meeting between the two teams as well. So, this is going to be a very, very, very interesting one. So, look, Switzerland are a tricky team. They could do big things, in my opinion. So could Uruguay. And if Uruguay wins that game, it's setting up a marquee affair against Belgium. Switzerland, an all-European affair. Switzerland did beat up Belgium a couple years ago, right, in the Nations League, from what I could recall. But I'm going to go for Uruguay under Diego Alonso to actually beat Switzerland and move on to the quarterfinals to meet Belgium. That one is going to be huge. So, look, we are into the quarters where we have England versus Argentina, we have Croatia versus Brazil, Wales versus Denmark, and Belgium versus Uruguay. Let's start the quarters. England versus Argentina, guys. 1962, England won that game. 1966, England won the quarterfinals, went on to win the World Cup. They beat Argentina there as well. 1986 quarterfinal where Argentina prevailed against England, where Maradona scored a famous hand of God goal, and they went on to actually win that World Cup. They also met in the 1998 World Cup, another famous victory for Argentina in the round of 16, where England lost the penalties. Remember David Batty taking that last penalty and missing it. So they have a lot of World Cup history. And they also met in the 2002 World Cup where England won that game to get their revenge. So this time around, guys, England versus Argentina, it is going to be a very good clash if it does happen. But I'm afraid to say that is where England's World Cup would come to an end. Argentina would play rings around England, and I'm going to go for Messi and Argentina to march their way to the semifinals. So England out, Argentina move on. Next game, Croatia versus Brazil. I think this will be a tough draw for Croatia if they do meet Brazil in their path. And even though they do have the quality to pose a threat to Brazil, it's going to be rough. They met at the 2006 World Cup where Brazil won that game 1-0. And Luka Modric was actually involved in that Croatian team. So he's been around forever. But I think Brazil would actually get the better of Hrvatska if they do meet at the World Cup. And this would set up a big Brazil versus Argentina semifinal. Look, the way it looks right now, if Brazil and Argentina both top their group, they would meet before the final. So one of these teams actually need to not top their group for them to be on the opposite side of the bracket and meet in the final. But they're so good that I think they're going to top their group and they're going to be on the same side of the bracket and they're going to meet somewhere along the line, the semis. So I'm going to go for the quality of Brazil to prevail over Croatia and move into the semis to face Argentina, a rematch of the last Copa America final. So look, juicy, right? Juicy, I know. Let's move on to the next side of the bracket here. Wales versus Denmark. Wales versus Denmark. Well, Denmark actually just defeated Wales 4-0 at Euro 2020. Could Wales get their revenge in this game if they do meet at the World Cup? And my answer is a simple no. Denmark are one of those type of teams that could get very, very far in this tournament. But they would need whoever up top for them they need them to be clinical, to bang in goals. Whether it's Kasper Dolberg or Martin Braithwaite or Andreas Cornelius, whoever they have up top there for them. You know what I'm saying? They need these guys to be firing on all cylinders. Christian Eriksen, Mikkel Damsgaard, Striker Larsen, you know what I mean, and co. Joachim Mæhle, stacked up team. Kasper Schmeichel, but I'm going to go for them to get the better of Wales. Can't see Wales in the semifinals, right? But I could definitely see Denmark making the cut. So I'm going to go for Denmark semifinal to face one of Belgium or Uruguay. So look, Belgium versus Uruguay. They met at the 1990 World Cup and Belgium won that game. So this one is going to be a very, very tricky one. Uruguay, a gritty outfit, but I think they're quarterfinal type of team, man. This Belgium team, they could have won it in 2018, but they couldn't get past France. They don't have France in their way, and I think they could get very, very far. I see them getting the better of Uruguay. Belgium over Uruguay, in my opinion. Belgium move on to face Denmark. So all European semifinal on one side, all South American semifinal on the other side. Let's predict the Argentina-Brazil semifinal. If this one is to happen, guys, this one is tough. This one is tough indeed. This is going to be a very good game. And I think we will have this game at the World Cup, actually. I think this is one of the predictions I'll actually get right. These teams will meet in the semis. Argentina to prevail over Brazil once again. Yet another Brazilian team not to win the World Cup. Star-studded, but still not win the World Cup, in my opinion. You got to ask questions of this Brazil team. You have to. You got to take them on. And one team that are capable of taking them on are Argentina. Brazil have not beaten Argentina, in the last few games from what I could recall. But they did meet at the 1974 World Cup. Brazil won that game. They met in 1978 at the World Cup as well. That game ended in a draw. They met in 1982. Brazil won that game. And they also met in 1990 where Argentina won that game. So they do have history in the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers, friendlies, and at the World Cup. These teams have met over 100 times. So we're not even going to go through the head-to-head, the overall head-to-head. But in terms of the World Cup, though, Brazil leads the charge over Argentina 2-1 with a draw in there. And I see Argentina leveling things up again. Messi and co. Are we going to see Paulo Dybala, Angel Maria actually do well? Otamendi, Emi Martinez and co. do well? I say yes, Argentina into the final of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Over to the other side, Denmark versus Belgium. Guys, look, the last 3 games between Denmark and Belgium have ended in wins for Belgium. And they met at the Euros. Belgium won the game 2-1. So they were in the same group, actually, from what I could recall. And I just don't see this Danish team getting the better of Belgium. They're capable, but I just see Belgium's quality prevailing on the day. And Belgium are into their first ever World Cup final, something that they failed to do back in 2018, but they make the cut this time around in 2022 to face Argentina. What a World Cup final that would be. Argentina versus Belgium. But before we do talk that one, we have a third place match that takes place before the final. And in the third place match, we have Brazil coming up against Denmark, where they met at the 1998 World Cup quarterfinal, and Brazil prevailed 3-2. That was a close game. But this time around, I'm going to go for the Danes to go on to win this game. And I'm going to say 3-1. Brazil would experiment. And they'll let me say 1-3 in favor of Denmark. So Denmark go on to actually place third. That will be their best ever World Cup finish and get the better of Brazil. And in the final, Argentina versus Belgium. What will be my score prediction? Well, I'm going to go for Argentina to prevail over Belgium. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 prediction, actually, for Argentina over Belgium. And the Sky Blues here would actually go on to lift the World Cup, where Lionel Messi would win his first ever world title. And he could now retire having won everything available to him. So Argentina are my number 1 team to win the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Belgium coming in second, Denmark third, and Brazil fourth. I just see this Argentina team as superior to all the other teams at the World Cup right about now, and I just see them doing well, man. So look out for Argentina, look out for Belgium, Denmark, Brazil. Go for the likes of Wales, a dark horse run, Croatia again, Senegal, Mexico and co. France, are they going to defend their title? Listen, Germany, what are they going to do? Look out for Uruguay, England. Oh, man, it's going to be so difficult to predict. But listen, man, I'm predicting Argentina to go on to win it. Guys, let me know your prediction. Go play the bracket game over on foxsports.com if you can, and let me know your result and go in for a chance to win $1 million as well. So there you have it. Predicting the entire 2022 World Cup with your boy Dominic Rich. In between, I had to pick up my boy Liam. He was sleeping, but he got a little fussy, so I had to pick him up. But it's all good, man. I'm on daddy duties right now, so just stealing a bit of time. So, guys, thanks again for watching another video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video if you haven't yet done. So let me know some interesting World Cup predictions in the comments. And from your boy Dom, until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.